Alright, welcome back to Mike's Basement. I'm Michael. Or Mike, you can call me Mike, because that's the idea, right? Mike's Basement? Michael's Basement? Never mind. I'm here, welcome back. We are right where we left off in Star Citizen in the last video, and we're going to haul some scrap from Hurston L3 to Port Olisar. So let's get going. Let's remember to put on the helmet. I'm going to show you a little trick. So I have actions item, I think it is. Yeah. So helmet on equip. I've equipped it now. I've made a little keyboard shortcut, so it's left shift plus H. That will equip and unequip my helmet sort of seamlessly, because I don't want to go into this. It doesn't take much time, right? You go into actions, player. No, not player. Item actions, helmet, something, right? And you also have the flashlight that you can turn on and turn off. Like that. Now, some people think that this wheel thingy here is a little bit annoying. I actually find that it's pretty okay. I like it. Certainly makes things more easier. Now, if you can hear something shuffling around in the background, it's my son. He's sitting and let me just... watching his iPad while he's eating an apple, so that's probably what you can hear. Like I said, let's go to... now we have Crusader L5 and Hurston L3, but it's this one. Let's go to Port Olisar with scraps. And from Port Olisar we're going to get some agricultural supplies for Galati Family Farm, so I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but that's the way I pronounce it. Hangar 1. That's one of the cool things that they have implemented. You can actually see where your ship is now. On your HUD. So, yeah. Coffee time. So, like I said in the last video, there is a pretty good explanation as to why I held this little hiatus from Star Citizen, and one of the reasons that I didn't mention, sort of strictly, actually, I did mention it shortly, but one of the reasons that I also chose to hold a little hiatus was that I wanted to get some more into Microsoft Flight Simulator, which came out at roughly the same point where this new patch for Star Citizen came out, which screwed everything up for me regarding what I like to do and what I don't like to do. We might even see once again that bug where the ship just suddenly vanishes. And again, that's just one other reason that I don't think that the old format that I made videos for you, that's going to work. It's a good format. It really, truly is a good format. It's a good format, and it's tailored for a sandbox game like this. But it has to be a sandbox game without major bugs like this, because otherwise it just won't work. Alright, let's set the... No, let's not set the course, so let's turn on the ship. And have them open the front doors. And now let's see if we can...
You are clear to
No.
launch.
Let's try again. There we are. Again, a little bit a bug with the map as well. So back to Port Olisar once again. Turn this up. And let's get this ship in the air. Raise the landing gear and figure out where that little... There it is. One of the things that I like more about,
Thank you.
for example,
Please visit again.
my constellation,
Quantum drive is now.
than I like about the Caterpillar is that I have this little 3D map thingy. I'm going to show you when I whip out the constellation, the Andromeda, at one point to show you a little bit around and tell you why I like this more than the Freelancer Max. But it has this little interactive 3D map. I'm not sure what you want to call it. And the big advantage of that is when you set a course, you get a little line that will give you roughly an idea where the marker is for quantum travel. In the Caterpillar, you sort of have to move the cockpit around in order to see that little arrow or triangle move around, and then you can follow it. So yeah. So let's land at Port Olisar once again. If you're going to go into, if you are new to Star Citizen in that sense that you have watched videos, my videos, other people's videos about the game, and sort of still wondering whether you should get the game or not, I've actually made a video where I talk a little bit about
Drive is now.
why I play Star Citizen and why you probably should or shouldn't. But I would highly recommend, if you get into the game, that you consider getting a joystick set up. At least get a joypad.
Quantum drive is now.
Because on no matter how you sort of
Now off.
put things, it is just much easier to play the game with a joypad, or, well, in my opinion. So they still have that strange bug I can see where when you get close to the close to Port Olisar, it seems that you get sort of a little jolt, something like that, from some invisible force that you can't really see. So one of the things that I like about Port Olisar, and one of the things that I hope that they will that will have them keep the station in the game, is its open environment. Now, for a griefing point of view, it's not a good thing that you have this open environment, because it makes it so much easier to grief. Definitely does. Let me just get this in place. Set it down. And let's land it.
Landing complete.
Landing
There you go.
complete. Have a pleasant stay.
See if I can fill it up this time. Yeah. Alright, yeah. So, the open environment of Port Olisar makes it a perfect place for people to grief, because you can shoot people from just outside the armistice zone when they enter the system or enter the area with the station. The open pads make it's so easy to do pad ramming, anything like that, but it also makes this a very perfect place
Engines
for beginners,
offline.
because you have a relatively short route from where you wake up in your EasyHab to the ship spawning stations. Oh yeah, let me just show you the cargo hold now. Look at that. Now it's filled. That's how it's supposed to look. Yeah, you have a relatively short route from where you wake up to the ship spawning stations, and also you And also you have a relatively short route from the spawning stations to the pads, and most importantly, the open pad system makes that you don't have to escape hangars or anything like that. And that's in my opinion, when you're a beginner to this game, it makes a huge advantage that you don't have to do that you don't have to escape planet gravity and at the same time escape the wind that we have now. The ships are affected by wind. And finally, that you don't have to try to escape get out of a hangar that may or may not just suddenly close itself on you. So yeah, I think that honestly, they should have kept Port Olisar as a place you can spawn yourself, because it, in my opinion, it makes it so much easier for a new beginner, for a beginner in the game to for a beginner to Star Citizen to get out and get flying and try it out and all that. But right now you only have the major places you can spawn yourself. So that's New Babbage, it's Area 18, and Lowell. And that means that you have a relatively long travel time from where you wake up to where you can actually spawn your ships. You have to take train or trains, depending on which direction you go in. And in my opinion, I think it's okay. I get the idea, because you have 3 places to choose between, and you can spawn all the big ships at all kind of ships, also the big ones, at these 3 major stations. But Port Olisar is just a perfectly good place for beginners to start. Alright, so let's see how much we can get for our commodities. Let's go select a location. Yeah, there you can see it. Now I have -12. Alright, let's see. 106, 506. Let me just get that going. 106, 506. Let me put that in. 106, 506. So we made, oh, does it say 108? No, it says 106. Made 28,000 on the scrap. So scrap is definitely what you can make. Well, that of the low cost things, I think it's one of the best ones that you can sell. For example, when I sold the agricultural supplies last time, I only got 9,000 out of it, so it's not that much. Alright, so let's buy some agri supplies. 58,457. 58,457. Let's make sure that it's the right number that we get. $58,457. Check. And let's go to Galate, Family Springs, Family Supplies, Family Farm. Was it? And that's on selling. Let's see there. Galate Family Farms. So we're going to B00 where we landed. So yeah, let's get going. I am also going to show you some of the shorter routes that you can take. One of the shortest routes that you can do is, for example, something like from Lathan, or let's check something. Yeah, you can. If you fall down there, it's just empty space. Yeah, you can go from Lathan or Bestek in the Lowell to the Lowell Central Business Districts and sell it there. That's probably one of the shortest routes that you can do which will net you a fair income, especially if you have a caterpillar like this and sell titanium. The thing is that you also put a lot on the line, and with all these 30k errors, that's why I have been trying to find low price commodities that will give me a relative good income. But to be fair and honest, when you sell you buy titanium, if you fill up a caterpillar with titanium, you get roughly around, you have to pay roughly around 400,000, I think it is. And you can sell it for, I think the income that you get is around 100,000. So the entire trip that I'm going to take here will, I think it takes about an hour or two or something like that. Maybe more, even. You can get that in 30 minutes, thereabout, selling titanium at lower will in the caterpillar. But you also put a lot more on the line. So if you get a 30k error, you have lost 400,000. And it will take you roughly then 4 trips to just reimburse that, where you also put 400,000 on the line every time you do it. But that's why I try to find a route that will take me sort of all the way around in the system. I can't get to Microtech because it just doesn't fit anywhere in this trading route. I could put it in. Let me tell you about the old route that I had. So the old route that I put in started me at Levski and then went to Hurstonel 3. There's a Argo Mole, a big mining ship, just to point it out. Yeah, then I went from Levski to Hurstonel 3, and there I went to Port Olisar, then again Galet Family Farms. Turn on the engines, that might be a good idea. And then from Galet Family Farms to Hurstonel 5.
Launch complete.
And from Hurstonel 5 to...
You exceeded the allotted time to depart.
Let's see if I
You'll have to
can
return your ship to storage.
get out of here without them stealing my ships.
Initiating ship storage procedure. For your safety, please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
Quantum drive is now on.
Hopefully I got away in time before they could steal my ship. That's one of the stupid things that suddenly happen in this game, is that you just sort of figure out, well, you have been here long enough, now we're going to take your ship. Alright, so the point is that from Levski I had hydrogen, from Hurstonel 3 I had scraps, from Port Olisar in that
Quantum drive is now.
in that route. From Port Olisar I had agricultural supplies to Galet. From Galet I could buy spirits and foods to Hurstonel 5. From Hurstonel 5 there's nothing I can buy. I can only buy scraps. And like I said, Levski and Port Olisar are the only places that buy scraps, so Hurstonel 5, nothing. From Hurstonel 5 I flew to Area 61, there I could buy tungsten. Then I could sell that at Virginia Point. From Virginia Point,
Drive is now.
because they also only sell scraps, couldn't buy anything. Then I could fly from Virginia to Pearlman, where I could buy aluminium. I could sell that aluminium at Everest. From Everest I couldn't buy anything. Could fly to Bestek, there I could buy aluminium. Then I could fly to Microtech L1 and sell that aluminium. Couldn't buy anything because they only sell scrap. Fly from L1 to SMC A6, that's the one on Euterpe, I think it's called, the moon. There I could buy hydrogen. Then I could sell that at Tresla, buy scraps, fly to Levski, and then start all over again. So I removed most of the places, most of these Lagrange point stations that I couldn't buy anything, because one of the tricks to get money when you trade, when you haul, is that you don't fly empty. So, and that's also true for ordinary truckers in the world we know today, is that whenever you drive your truck without having cargo on it, you basically lose money, because you're spending money on nothing, really. Even if you say that you are going to a point where you can get a high degree of income by moving something around, you're still essentially losing money because you don't haul anything around. And that the same goes here. So one of the things that I hope that CIG will change in future patches is that they diverse what you can sell and what you can buy in these Lagrange points, because the Lagrange points really are sort of the connection hubs between all of these places. And in order to have a route that will take you all around the system and just remove the chat and make that fun, make that usable, you have to be able to buy something there and sell something there. And if all the places only sell scrap, and there are only 2 places that buy scrap, then you sort of have to sort of ping pong back and forth between all of these Lagrange point stations, these rest and relaxation points, and either Levski and Port Olisar. And
Landing gear down.
I just don't think that would be fun, honestly. So like I said, the route that I have now, and I might put Microtech in somehow, because I do like getting all the way out there, and I think it's sort of it's a part of the system. I think it's a relatively beautiful part of the system also. So I don't want to miss out on it. But also,
Landing
oh,
complete.
I think I landed on a rock.
Launch complete.
Let's check outside. No, doesn't seem like it, so... Oh yeah, that's a little... Let's see. No, it seems to be okay. Alright. Turn off the engines. With the commodities that you can... And the reason why I don't want to land at planet stations. And the reason for that is that it's just so time consuming to go around with ships and all that. I'd much rather go to the outposts, stations and all that. So for now, my route is going to be, like I said, from Levski with hydrogen to Port Olisar. No, to Hurstonel 3, sorry. From Hurstonel 3 with scraps to Port Olisar. From Port Olisar with agricultural supplies to this place here, Galad Family Farms. From Galad Family Farms I'm going to buy spirits and or foods. And then I'm put in Hurstonel 5 because Area 61 doesn't buy that much foods, at least. Spirits, I think they bought 16,000. That's 106. No, that's 16 SCUs. We're going to see when I get there. I think it was a very little. So maybe it was 100. I think it was 160. But nevertheless, I have 576 on the Caterpillar. So, but getting rid of 160 is almost nothing. So I think my idea will be to try to sell most of the stuff at Hurstonel 5 and then perhaps move a little bit to, or nothing actually, to Area 61, where I'm going to buy tungsten and, wrong door, and transfer that to Virginia Point, which is the station above Akko. And then from Virginia Point I'm going to buy scraps and move that to Levski, and then we are going to start all over. So that's the route that will take me almost all the way around in the system. I would very much like to get some reason to go to Port Tresla and buy the scraps for Levskida instead, but just haven't found any reason to do it right now. So, not again. Look at that. I mean... And one of the things that is so cool about Star Citizen is that this is not a background image. And that is just not some sort of artificial... Well, of course it's artificial because it's computer generated, but that sun, that star, is really modeled there. It's just not some light source that they have put in. It's actually there, and that means that what you see there, this Terminator here, that line, I would argue that if you looked at Jupiter at this distance here, with the sun and the planet in the same configuration, that Terminator line would look exactly like that. So, well, let's get back into the family farms. I like these little hydroponic boxes, or whatever you want to call it, that they've put in here. I'm not sure I like what they are growing here. It looks... Well, I suppose that 30th century hydroponic base could have artificial wind also. And also graphic glitches. Let's hope that we can make it recognize the ship this time, because I don't want to run back and forth, and I really don't want to fly up with the ship, log out into bed, log in again, and then go to the station. So please recognize my ship. Thank you. So we're going to sell it for 66,234. So let's put that in. That gives an income of 7,777. Not that much. Let's see. Let's try to buy half distilled. Oh, that's because it's max available stock. Yeah, 280. All right, so we're going to buy. Yeah, the cat is being naughty. Of course. We're going to buy distills. 282. Yay! I did it. I hit it. All right, so 282 SCUs. That's going to be 100. 124,976. 124,976. Yes. All right. Let's fill up the rest with processed food if we can get that. 283. So now I know that I will get more 33,926 income by selling spirits, distilled spirits, than I do by selling foods. But I do want to figure out how much food that Area 61 will take, and I do know I'm counting on that that Hurston L5 will also take food as well. So otherwise we'll probably have a new bunch of food that we can't do anything with. So yeah. Let's get into the ship and fly to Hurston L5. Let's turn on the engines and put in the route.
Engines online.
There we go. We're going to go for Hurston L5. Turn it up and take off.
Launch complete. Landing gear up.
Just give it full burn. Broadband, baby. Yeah, in order to get as far away as possible from the moon as we can. Not because I don't like the moon, but because it might obscure our route to Hurstonal 5. Alright. Let's see. No, didn't. Bye-bye, Crusader.
Quantum drive is now online.
Alright, so here comes the hard part. Now I have to sort of find out for myself what I should do with respect to how much food I should sell at Hurstonal 5. I could go for the same amount, but I think I'm going to sell the spirit, so we might have to sell food as well. Well, it's this stuff here that you need to know how much you need to go for, and yeah, all that. So now the cat is angry because it's not allowed to go into my son's room. That's a funny story I could tell you about while we're flying. So we have 2 cats here. Let's start with the basics. I have a son who is 9 years old, and I have a daughter who is 4 years old. Next year she turns 5. So, my son was recently, well, relatively recently, diagnosed with what we in Denmark call infantile autism. It has nothing to do with him being infantile, even though he actually is sometime, but that's different reason, because he's a kid. But it has nothing to do with being infantile, but it's more about when the first signs of autism was noticed. And by that, I don't mean noticed by the governments or the psychiatrist or anything like that. It's when we think we first notice the symptoms. And if that is before the child is 3, and so from 3 and downwards, the diagnosis in Denmark is called infantile autism. If it's later, it is just called autism. I know that in America, people work with work with a completely different system where you have sort of graduations of what you expect the autism will hinder or make harder to perform in real life. So basically how much you have been how big of a problem your autism will be for you. So and I think that the next sort of diagnosis manual that we're going to get here in Europe is going to be in the same context, instead of having these archaic and strange diagnosis, because infantile autism, if you just hear it, you think that it's autism that makes the kid infantile in nature, but it really isn't. It's something completely different. So that's why I think it's a good idea that we get this graduating point system instead on how big of a problem, how big of a challenge the autism might be for the kid. But nevertheless, my son has infantile autism. He's an autist. And one of the things that we thought we have heard
Contact.
would be a good thing for autists is to have a cat. Or some kind of pet, actually. Not specifically has to be a cat, but we choose cats, but it has to be some kind of pet, something that they can sort of have and enjoy. So we have 2 cats. One is it's a big cat, relatively big cat, and me and my wife, we decided that it should be named after the famous chemist and physicist Marie Curie. And my son chose that the other cat should be called Carla. So that's how things works here. But nevertheless, the cat called Curie is really it adores my son. So it always wants to try to get inside his room.
Please
The
proceed
problem
to
is
assigned
that
landing bay.
my son don't want the cat inside his room or the cats inside his room because he's found out that they go up onto his shelves where he has all his Warhammer figurines, and then they step on them and push them around and shovel them on the table and all that. It's understandable, that is, so it's not a problem. I think it's okay. It's completely understandable. Now the cat is walking around outside his room and yelling because it wants to get inside. So that's what you can hear. Alright, so let's... I think it's this way. Put down the landing gear. Turn down the
Gear down.
engine output. Move the ship up a little bit. What in the world is that? My god, that's annoying. Alright. Stop it!
Landing complete.
There we are. Let's go sell some
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
spirits. Alright. I'm going to fill up the ship and going to sell the spirits. Then I'm going to end this video here. In the next video, we are going to go to Area 61 on Walla to hopefully sell some spirits and some foods. See how much we can sell. And then, yeah. Buy some tungsten to go to Bikini Point with. But first, let's go sell the commodities. Alright, turn on the engine, turn off the engines.
Offline.
Yes. And go out of the seat. Now the reason I try to sort of almost squeeze myself out of the elevator on the Caterpillar is that if someone should decide to hide behind the turret so that I wouldn't be able, some dang pirate, so that I wouldn't be able to see him, and in order to sort of try to reduce the risk of getting my ship stolen by some pirate, I try to squeeze myself out of the hangar as quickly as I can without having the elevator to actually touch the ground, because if the elevator doesn't touch the ground, then the chance of him slipping on top of the elevator and getting in while I'm getting out should be very slim. We had hangar 1. And remember that. But it does say, so it's very nice. Also, I've heard that there should be a lot of problems with people trying to get on and off on Microtech, so it might be a good idea to good idea to avoid that for the moment. So welcome to Personal 5. And again, we're going to go to the Galleria and the admin desk to sell our stuff. Galleria. For some reason, there's been quite a bunch of people that has been annoyed with the elevators in this game. I'm not sure why. I think they're good. They're okay. But can you see? Hey, how are you? Hello. Not good. Sorry. Alright, let's see what we can get. So let's start by selling the caterpillar. So let's take the spirits. They can also only buy 160. Let me just see. What did we buy? We bought 282 minus 160. That gives 122, so that's definitely enough. Yeah, that'll do. So let's see. $90,650. Oh, those numbers. Alright, so we have to add it up. That's the only annoying thing here. We have to add it up at a later point, but nevertheless. Alright, let's see what we can sell off. They buy all the stuff that we have, all the distilled foods. All the foods. But, yeah, I don't want to do that. So let's see. No, get away from me. Alright, let's, Hi, how are you? Alright, let's sit down here. Alright, so while we are sitting here and relaxing a little bit, I'm going to say goodbye, take my leave of you right now. I hope that you have enjoyed yet another video of the life of Michael Hansen, aka the Great Dane, in Star Citizen, and my futile attempts to make a little bit of money by trading, cargo hauling. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to, if you're new to my channel, if this is the first video that you watch, then you can subscribe to my channel. That will help me a lot. You can press that little bell icon and then you'll get notifications whenever I put out something new. New shenanigans and new ideas and all that in Star Citizen with this new format, which I hope that you will all enjoy just as much as you have enjoyed my my videos on the former format, storytelling. Still going to be a story. It's going to be my story instead in Star Citizen, as a player, as the character, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.